everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Lucid's 2022 Tournament Game 4, where we are playing Nazca. This is turn 91. Let's do the thing, shall we? It is research that starts us off. We have completed Thaumaturgy 8. Hella. Fantabulous. We are running up Evocation. I know that I gave that big spiel at the end of last fucking episode, talking about how we probably should have gone for Master and Slave 20 turns ago, and how we're probably screwing ourselves over by not moving towards that strength. But I don't know if the game's going to be over in 2 turns or not. So I'm trying to get power where power can be, and right now we can get to Evocation 7 really quickly, which gives us Winds of Death, Nether Darts. We could get up to Evocation 8 pretty quickly, which would give us Pillars of Fire. Yes, I'm not practicing what I'm preaching. And every day is a stress ball as I panic and look at the turn and see if the thing is over. So, yeah, no, it is what it is. Anyways, moving on. We've got no real amount of remotes or anything like that to discuss. No variables. We did some ritual casting. Yay, it is what it is. We did do a little bit of site searching. Didn't find anything. And that's not unexpected. We have some exchanging of territories. Blue Beauty goes over to Pelagia. Dryfields goes over to Pelagia. Nothing like that. Nothing strange. We countered some indies in tiers of the Pantocrator. Bunch of Tritons. Some water elementals coming in. Which is good, because that many Tritons might actually have fucked up that many undead. So we win in the tiers of the Pantocrator. Yeah, they'd only killed 10 of the Tritons on their own. Oh, no, that's not true. They'd killed... Technically. Yeah, probably would have been fine without the water elementals, but whatever. Safety first. And we attacked in Harbor of Copper with an actual little squad, right? Mostly water summoners, doing water summoners. Frozen Heart, apparently. We have some earth elementals tangling in. We got Supayas coming in. Yeah, this should be fine. We'll lose a couple things here, though. This won't be bloodless. Actually, only lost an earth elemental. That's interesting. So, we take Harbor of Copper back. And there's a battle in Illidar. What? Oh, I don't remember this. What's happening here? Oh, werewolves. Ooh. Well, that's bad. We're definitely dead here. Well, hail. Alright, well, that means for the turn, we have battles versus Pelagia. 0 wins, 2 losses. Kind of, whatever. Right, versus Indies, 2 wins and 1 loss. What? You're very needy right now, sir. You're very needy right now. I'm busy. Leave me alone. Okay, so that's battles for the turn. Really just some indie fun going on there. We have events for the turn. In Nazca, a Dome of Solid Air has attracted some playful beings that seem fascinated by its magic. Very cool when that happens. This is actually a bunch of sylphs, so that's kind of neat and thematic. In Mark, a magnificent statue was raised in the honor of our god, giving us more dominion, nice, and order, which is okay. In Illidar, a wild forest is working its magic, and a plague of lycanthropy has swept the land, so we are attacked in Illidar. And then in Centennia, a treasure has been found. We get gold, fire gems, air gems, water gems, earth gems, and a rune smasher, which is really funny considering we just started making pin gear last turn, and the game's like, yes, please take this pin gear. And I'm like, okay. All right. Fair enough. So, Events for the turn: 1 negative, 3 positive. We gained 14 sylphs, which is pretty fucking hefty. Mark Dominion went up by 4, and Order went up by 1. There was a Curse of Lycanthropy in Illidan. Then we gained 795 gold, 2 fire gems, 5 air gems, 4 water gems, 4 earth gems, and 1 rune smasher. Altogether, not too terribly bad, if I do say so myself. We will definitely take those. We found a shit ton of scouts. Scouts in Neefle, scouts in Blackport, scouts in Silver World, scouts in Retha, scout in Old Man Mountains. Scouting. No scouting. Not allowed. Fingers crossed. We have Sea of Carassos, Blue Beauty, Dryfields are both, they're all going over to Pelagia. And we're not super worried about that right now. We are in position. There is about as much teal this turn as there was last turn. Pelagia and I are talking about turn 93 or 94 being the go turn. Ulm is also talking about that, but also very exacerbated because Arco is still attacking them. Like, as you can see, right? Like, Arco is still on this throne in Ulm. So it's a thing. It's a thing. But that's game, right? That's the game. That's the war, or that's war. That's diplomacy in a game like Dominions. If everyone did exactly what you said or wanted, right? Well, I don't know how that would work because everyone would want different things. So obviously that wouldn't work. But then even if people be complicated, yo. Sometimes two people grow to dislike one another, or some people just want to watch the world burn. And that's fine. It happens. I, for one, have really enjoyed this game. And the diplomatic scrambles that have happened throughout it have been really, really fun for me. And while I wish that as we went into what feels like the final legs of this game's journey, while I wish everyone could work together in a coordinated and harmonious manner against the great elven threat, I don't really expect that to happen. So it is what it is, right? Like, we'll see how it goes. But we're trying to aim for a turn 93, 94, and fingers crossed. Oh, Otis. Hey. You didn't even... What? You didn't even puke anything. You just gagged yourself? No. Don't do that. Hold on, get down. Go eat some grass.
I know grass.
Boy. A poor boy. Okay, so I may or may not have just edited out my cat trying to puke on me and my computer. He's doing okay, I think. He's mad. But anyways, so what are we doing? What are we actually doing for the turn from a logistics standpoint? Mostly, we are continuing what we had been doing in the previous turns. We are trying to consolidate forces in Silver World with Obulshin as a target. We are consolidating forces in Neefle and Amul, with Satrandith being kind of like a backup focal point there. And we are consolidating forces in Forgotten Woods and Toledo, with those being two main locations. One where we can teleport from Forgotten Woods to other locations like Silver World or Obelshin or Mudwood if we needed to. And Toledo being a similar style location where we are trying to do those types of things, right? So, right. Actually, I don't think there's a whole lot to really discuss past that point. Let's jump into some of the things that we're actively doing, and that's gonna evoke more conversation. So, recruitment for the turn. We have 2 Apu, 1 Lizard Shaman, 1 Gnome, 1 Royal Malqui, and 5 Sun Guard coming in. If you jumped back up here just to get started again, boyo, you and me are gonna tangle. What? What? You sad? Are you sad? You're always sad. He's always sad, but he's always pooing. Don't touch my stuff. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, so, none of that is very strange. Always excited to have more Royal Malquis. We're going to continue to try to do that as best we can. But the addition of a gnome is actually new. And that is because we're going to try to start mixing in Gaia's Blessing into our big stacks. Gnomes are tiny little frail fellas, so that's a little bit of a concern. We're going to try to kit them out with things like probably Coral Blades or Demon's Banes. And things like Thistle Maces to help boost them, but then also defensive gear to help keep them alive. It's going to be a bit of a pain in the ass, but might be worthwhile to have Gaia's Blessing in our armies going forward. So we'll see how that goes. Nazcan recruits for the turn. We have 58 Hatenruna, continuing down that path. 315 Long Dead Warriors, continuing down that path. We have 22 recalled Supayas and 3 summoned Supayas for another 21 Supayas, for a total of 43 Supayas this turn. So the highest we have ever hit. So that's pretty exciting. And we have 1 summoned Huaka for 7 more Huakas. So that I think does kind of warrant a little bit of a discussion. We have talked previously about the idea of maybe we pull back on the amount of Supayas that we are summoning. And indeed, we might do that. We are trying to hit the point where we can do a Lich every single turn. And then, from that, we are trying to turn whatever we have left over into power. We want to do that until we get, I think, 4 to 5 Liches is the plan. Which we can house in Toledo and try to do things like Ghost Riders or Manifestations. But we only have a few more turns to actually have that happen, in theory. Obviously, I don't think we're going to be, if we go at turn 93 or 94, I don't think we're going to be in full go mode, and we're going to have to supplement things as we can, where we can, as we move forward. It is what it is, right? That's just the generalized kind of game plan. Right now, I think adding another 7, 14, 21, depending on the course of the turns, Supayas into an opportunity to Stygian paths them, or just gateway them somewhere, right, could make a difference in the amount of forces that we have ready to fight Van somewhere. We'll see how that goes. Don't know if it's the right call or not. Special recruitment for the turn. We are back to having quite a few special recruiters. So we have 1 Direwolf, 1 Dustwalker, 1 Air Elemental, and 3 Sylphs coming out. Pretty good. Do we really not have any Earth Elemental stuff this turn? Origines is moving. He's gonna go get healed because he lost an eye. We have Barathras moving as well. And then that's it. There's the only 2 that we have, right? So yeah, I guess they're both still moving. What else are we doing? Buildings for the turn. 1 temple, 1 lab. So we are putting a temple down in Harbor of Copper. We have a temple down in Silver World, and you can see immediately, right, we have some Dominion blossoming there. Fantastic. We're probably going to start preaching there as well if we haven't already. I think we are not. I need to get a preacher there. We might start preaching there with our Inca next turn. We'll see. But we're building a temple. We want to get temples into these territories, right? We have people moving in to patrol and potentially preach and potentially drop temples into all of these various locations. We want to get as many temples and preachers happening in this area so we can fill it out. Again, I don't, it's very hard, right? Like we can see our Dominion is bouncing back a little bit, but it is very difficult for us right now to try to compete against Vanheim's Dominion. But we're going to try to make a concerted effort in that and see what it goes. And then the lab that's coming up is the lab in Toledo that we need for our liches to be able to do anything there. So fingers crossed. That should be that. We have a whole smattering of rituals this time, all around the world. And I say a whole smattering. We have a whole bunch of things that we probably shouldn't be doing because it's probably a waste of gems. But I'm trying to see if we can get fucking lucky because it feels like we have gotten very unlucky. We're doing 1 Auspex, 1 Voice of Absu, 2 Gnome Lores, 2 Arcane Probings, 3 Dark Knowledges, 1 Haru Specs, 3 Voice of Tiamats, and then we're doing 3 Teleports, 1 Lichcraft, and 1 Vile Water. We are doing a lot of site searching in and around the territory that we took from Pelagia. We still have nothing in Blackport after site searching for fire and death. We have a gem deposits, I guess, is fair, right? But having almost nothing in a throne province is really, really, really unusual. So we are targeting it with a couple of different things: the Auspex, Voice of Apsu, a Gnome Lore, an Arcane Probing, a Haruspex, trying to knock all those out, right? Because I feel like it's likely there is going to be something here. And then a lot of the territory that we have, see, whoa, nothing in it. Harbor of Copper, nothing in it, right? So we're actually hitting a couple of these places with Voice of Tiamat. Voice of Tiamat hits all of the elemental paths. So we're trying to see if maybe we can fish something out there. Maybe we could get another fire or 2 or 3. That would be really, really good. We have almost nothing. We have a freaking smoldering star colony. We went up from 5 fire, I think, to 7 fire with the territory that we conquered from Pelagia. And Pelagia has flame jellies, right? So they have access to fire gems. They just might, I don't know, they might not have very much access. I was really hoping that we were going to get like upwards of 10 plus fire gems and be able to start doing things with them. But we're gonna see. We're just crossing our fingers. Is this a waste of gems? Probably. But dear God, please, right? Holy shit. Aside from that, the teleports that we're doing, we are teleporting more of our shamans to places like Harbor of Copper. We're heading towards Silver World. We're trying to just put more people, more bodies in that direction. Lichcraft is Lichcraft. Vile Water is Vile Water. Nothing new to explain there. As far as this turn goes, Ultimate Gateway saves us 6 Astral and 12 Death. So that's pretty decent. And then Forging, we have 1 Huaka Headdress, 1 Bloodstone, 1 Eye of Aiming, 2 Endless Bags of Wine, 1 Fire Plate, 1 Golden Arbalest, 1 Herald Lance, 1 Amulet of Anti-Magic, 1 Water Lens, and that's pretty much it. So, what the fuck's going on there? We've got some new items squirreled away in that. Waka headdress, nothing new. Bloodstone. We are putting together multiple sets of individuals that can do. We could put those on 2 Earth Koyas with a Starshine Skullcap. They can teleport places and do Earth things for us, right? Or we can put them on Earth 2 Huron Priests to be H4 that can very easily do things like Army of Gold for us, right? In situations where we normally might not otherwise be able to do them because we only have 2 Kings of Elemental Earth. So we're just trying to make sure that we have access to the things that we need when we need them. Endless bags of wine, more logistics pieces. We're trying to stockpile those so that we can actually make sure we don't have massive issues. Fire plates, that goes on low morale individuals like gnomes or fairy queens to protect them from both morale and from fire. So that's a situation. The Herald Lance is another morale boosting item that we've seen use on things like our Huacas and stuff like that. Or not Huacas, on our Incas leading things like Huacas and Sun Guard and stuff like that. Amulet of Anti-Magic. I'm trying to limit the amount of Astral Pearls that we are using, but we do need more Amulets of Anti-Magic. And Water Lenses to go with our Hydromancers. That leaves out 2 items. The Eye of Aiming and the Golden Arbalest. We are trying to not put all of our eggs in a single basket, right? With things like our Paco of the Mountain Spirit traps with our fucking gelatinous cubes, right? Another thing that I've seen in the past work well against thugs, against raiders, is stuff like putting an Eye of Aiming on someone, like a Paco of the Mountain Spirits. I told you these guys have other opportunities they can do from us. They come in at a base precision of 10. You can also just do this on Caracas, right? They come in a base precision of 10 as well. But a Paco of the Mountain Spirit, right? Comes in at a base precision of 10, has access to nature or air. You can also do this on an Akla very easily, because you can script them to do something like aim. Aim gives you a +5 precision bonus. Or you can do, on a Paco of the Mountain Spirits, you can do Eagle Eyes, right? Which also does the same thing. Gives you a +5 to your precision, right? A Eye of Aiming gives you, I believe it is a +8 to your precision. But I think it gives you a +8 to precision, but you lose an eye, which decreases your precision. So it's I think equates out to a Eye of Aiming. Yes, Eye of Aiming gives you a +8 to your precision, but you lose an eye. So I think lose an eye is a -2. Dom 5 wiki. Affliction. Lost an eye is -3 precision, so it's a net gain of +5, right? So if you have a person who can cast a aim or Eyes of the Hawk, plus a Eye of Aiming, that's a +10 precision, right? And then which one is it? It is Golden Arbalest, right? Has a precision of 10, right? And a pretty damn decent range, and it hits pretty hard, and it's armor piercing, and it's magical, right? So what this does is this goes into a situation where you have a very high precision archer shooting an armor piercing magic weapon at something like a Vanjarl. issues. Van has a shield, and Vanheim's Bless now has Air Shield in it. Air Shield 40, though, right? Not specifically Air Shield 80. Air Shield 80 means it is very unlikely for you to, in a small engagement, right, where you're shooting 3, 4, 5 times, it's very unlikely for you to hit. In a large engagement where you're shooting hundreds of times, you're going to get some shots through, right? So that's one thing. But if you're in a small engagement and you're up against Air Shield 40, you can actually sneak a fair number of shots in, especially if the individual is not overly reliant on it, right? That's not the implication. It's a bonus, right? Obviously. But if the individual is not expecting to have to deal with projectiles like that, it can be something that works. That, and also, Banyarl's shields aren't like super mega awesome, right? If we go take a look at them, they're not bad, don't get me wrong, but they're not like the greatest thing in existence. So we have a Banyarl, they just have a shield, right? Like parry bonus of 4, 16 defense, right? They're not like the greatest thing in the world, although I don't think that necessarily matters. What's the shield chance? Shield parry value times 2. Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. I know, obviously, like, individuals who have shields are much less likely to get hit by arrows. So, anyways, sorry, I went off on a little rabbit hole. This is not expected to be like a super mega awesome, oh, this is going to kill several Banyarls. This might not kill a single Banyarl, but it could, right? And it could kill, maybe not kill, it can hit things like golems, right? Golems that come in that are trying to accomplish a specific task can get sniped by a 20 precision archer wielding something like a golden arbalest really easy off, right? Like, I say 20 precision, it's probably 25 base precision, that type of situation. So that can actually make a really big difference. That can turn provinces that you otherwise might have no real chance of holding, right? Like, if we have over here, we have a gelatinous cube, and over here we have an archer, right? Like, we can have all of these little catches dotting our territory, and they're relatively low investment, right? They're not no investment, but they're relatively low investment. So that is something that I'm trying to mix in, trying to just give ourselves a couple of different types of things that we can try to do. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed. And I think that's pretty much it. That's kind of like the stuff that we're doing this turn. Things have changed drastically over the course of the last like 4 turns. The proclamation of Arco basically thrown in the towel. The big push from Van. Again, 3 turns ago, Arco was like this, right? They had probably 20, 25 provinces. Obviously, Van was outmatching them, and Arco was in a 2v1. A 2v1 that they didn't have to be in, by the way, right? Because I think for a while, I've been trying to make overtures to have Ulm and Arco not be at war, though that just has not worked. And that's not to blame any one side or anything like that. That it's entirely possible that Ulm was, or Arco was willing to get out with Ulm, but Ulm was unwilling to get out at certain times for certain reasons. and vice versa, right? I don't know all of the information behind the situation, but what I do know is that this is a blanket of red, and that's scary. So, feels like it's the beginning of the end. And I keep, every time I pop into this map, I keep looking at all of the space that we need to make up. I keep looking at, like, what do we have in reserve? What are we capable of doing? And I keep just being like, oh, fuck. It feels like we still need to do so much more. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I've made the wrong choices, but I don't know that there's any going back at this point. That's going to be the end of this turn. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.